Hi, I'm Becky Walsh. We are living in quite an extraordinary time, and I don't know about you, but there feels to me like there is a huge shift going on for people at a very personal level. And that shift seems to be an end to mediocrity, an end to playing small, an end, in a sense, to the traditional sense of spirituality. That traditional sense of spirituality, to me, spirituality has always been about kindness. But the traditional sense of spirituality, practicing mindfulness, sitting, meditating, all of those kinds of things, are finding it's not hard to do, but what's it avoiding? Now, I'm not saying everybody who meditates is avoiding something. However, it's lovely to get a sense of internal peace. You know, how do we sleep when the beds are burning? You know, when there is so much going on in the world that actually needs us to rise up into power. All the sensitive people, all of the people who are highly intuitive, all of the people who are awake and feel all of the feels need to step up into their power. And I'll tell you why we won't. Because we have a massive problem with the word power. We don't like it. It's really cringeworthy. Power just feels massively uncomfortable. And the reason why is because we associate the word power with the idea of power over. Or this patronising sense of empowerment. Because actually empowerment, I mean, it's great. Empower other people. But in order to want to empower other people, you're already coming from the vision that there is something wrong with them and that they are disempowered. That doesn't kind of really help anybody. So this form of power that I'm talking about is something that kind of surges up through your core. It's not the egotistical wanker power. No, it's not. It's the power that says, I have got all of this life experience and all of this life force on my side. That I matter and I stand for something. That power over is the idea of, I'm powerful, or I'm brilliant, or I'm marvellous, or I'm a genius, and I'm better than you. And I get to lord it over you because I have some kind of sense of privilege. That might be an educational privilege, that might be a background privilege, that might be a race privilege. I don't care what you think your privilege is. That's not the kind of power I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kind of power that comes from a gut, the kind of power that comes from I've had enough, the kind of power that comes from that power to, not power over. Power to. I call this hive power because hive power is when we realise that we are really not very much on our own. But when we come together as a group of like-minded thinkers, when we bring ourselves into the room, then suddenly real transformation can really take place because of the power of the hive. Like-minded thinkers coming together to do something amazing. But the only way that you can be part of the hive, the only way that you can be in there is if you're not doing well, that other bee isn't really doing an awful lot, is it? I mean, I've been doing pollinating all morning. I've been out pollinating everywhere. I come back here, not doing anything. Because what we do when we criticise each other is we withdraw somebody else's power, and that's what we're doing. And it gives us this perception, like a train leaving the station. Oh, it's the other train that's actually moving. I'm still in the station. When we give that perception, we are taking that power away from somebody else. It gives us our perception that we are raised in our power. Just because you've dropped somebody else's power doesn't mean your power is moving anywhere. And the only way to make your power move is to come from a place of utter self-acceptance and self-love. And I mean real self-acceptance. And when we talk about self-love, I think that people get confused and kind of like, so I have to spend all of their time thinking I'm really mushy and warm and lovely. No, I think that self-love knows that you are a twat. Self-love knows that you are an utter twat and goes, yeah, you are a bit of a twat, aren't you? And I'm all right with that. That's fine. In the same way that you love people, or let's for example, in the same way that you love dogs. Your dog does something, choose your best pair of shoes, doesn't stop you loving the dog, does it? If we could only love ourselves in the same way that we love dogs, that would be amazing. Or children. It's a case of kind of going, I know you're a bit of a twat, and I love you anyway. Because tomorrow you won't be so much of a twat, or you might be an even bigger twat. and I will love you anyway. It's about not expecting ourselves to be perfect, and it's about turning off the shitty committee inside of our heads that just goes wah, 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 about how crap we are, disempowering us. The worst culprit for disempowering you is yourself, every time, just is. So this power says, I am a genius, and I'm here to share my genius with the world. I'm incredible, and I'm here to take out my incredibility and share it with the world. I'm here to be part of the hive. I am part of the transformation. I refuse to be part of the problem. And by doing that, you step up and you're able to stand in your power and stop the psychopaths running amok. And it doesn't matter whether that crazy person is within your work, is within your community. If you want to go and talk to your council about creating a field that's good for bees, I like my hive thing. Whatever it is that you want to do, it's about knowing that you are worthy of doing it and that you should just be getting the hell on with it now. Because now is the time. Because let's face it, it's now or it's fucked.